Dealing with tension on set, how to fight it, and is it worth it? Coming up on BTS Raw Chats.
This is BTS Raw Chats. BTS Raw Chats. Where real media creators chat. After hours, we don't give away raw files. We give you the raw, behind-the-scenes chatter of the photo and video production world. The Raw Chat starts now.
Welcome everybody to BTS Raw Chats, where real media creators talk about what really happens within the production industry. We want this show to help others out there to deal with the day-to-day things that really happen in the industry, from dealing with difficult customers or tips and tricks. So, by the way, BTS, for those that you don't know, is behind the scenes.
Ooh, is that what that stands for?
Exactly. Not a lot of people know that. Let's get on with the show, dealing with tension on set. So this is a very touchy subject, especially for the both of us, because we know we know some types of places it's very difficult to deal with that level of stress. So we want to express to you what little tips and tricks that we could pass on to you to help you out with dealing with a stressful environment or a stressful workplace or a stressful situation on set, because I have a ton of stories dealing with stressful things on set. Can you tell me one situation that you've dealt with that was stressful on set?
Can I tell you? Let me see. Which one do I want to share?
Well, this is the whole premises of the show, BTS Raw Chats. We lay it all on the line here.
Well, sometimes, you're playing producer.
Mm-hmm.
If you're trying to give somebody direction and they just fight you every step of the way,
Mm.
and they just don't want to listen to what you're trying to tell them, even if you're trying to help them out, and they start throwing stuff.
Yes.
And then, everybody on the set feels that tension. And then you have to try to smooth everything over. But I kind of just shut down. I let it go and address it after the fact. You can't start fighting and throwing stuff on a set.
Exactly. This is very rare people that deal with this type of level of stress, but we've seen it almost on a daily basis.
Unfortunately, it's something that occurs regularly. Not all the time, but more often than.
And most of the time, it starts from the top down.
Right.
Right. And dealing with the stress levels,
right.
Going on the top. Now, here's the thing. They're dealing with a lot of stress that we don't even know about, just running the business in general. Mm-hmm. So I do sympathize with these people, and I'm thankful for the opportunity that they provided for me, to grow in my career, and also just helping each other out,
I don't sympathize with them because
Cool.
I feel like they should know better. They should, whatever they're going through, they need to put that aside.
Mm-hmm.
When you have somebody in your studio, it's about them. It's not about them.
Yes. Exactly.
Because we're all going through stuff. I mean, I don't know what you're going through at home, or, everybody has their own thing, and you have to learn how to deal with it.
Exactly.
And if you don't, there's places that you can go that will help you.
Exactly. Exactly.
Instead of taking it out on the people that work for you.
Right.
And want to do a good job.
Exactly. It goes back to an old show that we have that we were talking about people like working with people they like,
yes.
Yep. And it all,
it all ties
the circle,
in together.
the circle ties in together, folks.
It really does.
One tip that I could give you guys is whenever there's tension on set, or whether there's something bad going on or whatever's happening, how I deal with it is I just stay quiet. Let the other person have the mic, have them express their feelings, their emotions, have them yell and scream and all that stuff. You just deflect, and then when the time is right, express your opinion.
Yeah.
But you're not going to go far by yelling. You need to talk smooth, and that's how you gain control over the conversation, It's a 50-50 chance. You may win the argument, you may not win the argument, but the point is to diffuse the tension, diffuse the situation.
Yes. Because if not, it's going to continue to progress, and then you're going to be in a lot of trouble.
Exactly. It's crazy how one negative person could be so contagious.
Yes. It just spreads like wildfire.
Exactly.
And before you know it, everybody's in a shitty mood.
It's a pandemic.
It really is. Dun, dun,
But
dun.
it really is. You know what I'm saying? It's a virus that spreads out, and it really draws you down. And you could feel that negative energy.
Right.
You could feel that tension.
Right. And the same goes for, say, if everybody's in a great mood. I mean, we've been on happy sets where we were having a good time and everything's flowing, and everybody feels that vibe.
All it takes is one.
Right.
All it takes is one
And that
person
one
with
time,
a negative attitude.
Yep.
So in situations like that, say you're running the shoot, or you're running any situation. Say you're the manager of that particular project, and you have a problem person. What do? How do you deal with that?
Take them aside and talk to them and find out why it is they're acting that way. Like, does something happen? Or, sometimes all they need is to talk. They want to be heard.
Exactly.
And like, I've been guilty of, like, it depends on the situation.
Right.
Like, if you're in private, whatever goes on between you and another person or a coworker, that's different than when you're on a set in front of people that are they're visiting you to do a job, or they come in from out of state, or they're higher up. You have to be on your best behavior. You can't be yelling and screaming, arguing, and throwing stuff across the studio, or flinging headsets. It's just unacceptable.
Yeah, and it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing
it's
not only
embarrassing.
for that
Yes,
particular
it is
person.
embarrassing.
And the thing is that we're all in this together. You know what I'm saying? If you're hurting, I'm hurting.
Right.
You know what
it
I'm saying?
just makes you look bad. Makes you look unprofessional.
Exactly.
I can only imagine what the person is probably thinking. Like, I'm never coming back here again.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like, trying to take me out, throwing a headset across the studio.
First impressions. You know what I'm saying? First impressions can hurt you, or can they can destroy you.
Right.
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 And it's sad. What I usually do is I just hit, okay, stop, take 5. You know what I'm saying? I noticed my tone. All right, guys, stop, take 5.
Happy,
Not stop, take 5.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Everybody out. Take away.
Yeah, everybody out. No. All right, guys, stop, take 5. Okay, person X, come here for a second. You know what I'm saying? I pull the person aside. Isolate that one negative person. You know what I'm saying? And just talk to them. Exactly what you're saying.
Right.
Have them express whatever's going on, and if they need a break, have them have a break.
Yeah.
We were riding on this production that was taking literally 12 to 15 hours, and that X person literally was going to faint. So, I'm on the same boat as you are, bro. You know what I'm saying? Just hang on. But some people just can't handle.
You got to push through. Yeah.
Exactly. Some people can't handle
Right.
you can't handle the heat.
Yeah.
Get out the kitchen.
It's really,
It's
so true. Like, some people just cannot deal with it.
Exactly. Exactly.
They're done.
Exactly. And you as an individual has to respect that as well. And at the same token, respect goes both ways. Like I said before, you're not going to get far by yelling at the other person. Pull them aside, talk to them. If that doesn't work, either send them home or give them at least 15 minute break.
Give them like a Snickers bar.
Exactly.
Not that we're sponsored by Snickers. But
Exactly. Which Snickers, if you're listening out there, we wouldn't mind a sponsorship. But another thing that I would say is walk away from the situation, especially if it's somebody of authority. You know what I'm saying? Take a break. Woosah.
That really does help, though. Even if it is, like you said, like 5-10 minutes. Like, sometimes you need to just get away, get out of that environment.
But sometimes certain people don't get that clue. They follow you. They follow you outside, and they're like, "What's going on? What's going on? What's going on?"
That
you know
gets
what I'm saying?
me. I'm like, leave me alone. I need 5 minutes.
You know what I do? I'm gonna go take a lunch break. Get in my car and get the hell out.
Drive away. When I lock myself in the bathroom and I cry for that good minute.
Yes, exactly. but you have to have that moment for yourself to just cool yourself down, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
Take a break.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Take a break for yourself.
Yes.
You know, and once you zone in or whatever, you get right back out there and you induce that positive energy. You know what I'm saying? There is positivity out there that comes into into your life. Keep that positive energy, because also that spreads out as well. You know what I'm saying?
Right, and then you come back into the shoot and you're like refreshed.
Exactly.
You had a little break, you're over it, and you can move forward.
Exactly. There's a tension.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
you can feel it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can feel it in the air.
Yeah.
You have to break that tension with positivity. I have a funny story. A friend of mine went on this major set, right? And there was a celebrity over there, and going back full circle, this is why pre-production is so important, because dealing with specific things, you might get sidetracked and sideswiped or whatever, and not realize, what I'm saying, we got to do this one thing. Well, this happened to my friend. Celebrity only had a certain amount of time. Keep in mind that they had prepped everything perfectly. You know what I'm saying? And it was a set full of 7 people. You know what I'm saying? So everybody had their own specific thing that they're doing. My friend was responsible for doing the behind the scenes shoots, right? Naturally,
The BTS.
exactly. They wanted to have an interview with the celebrity. You know what I'm saying? Off the cuff, and watch what happens with off the cuff things. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying, you got to have a little give and take. You know what I'm saying? You gotta
Anticipate like what the other person is.
yes, you gotta
So you can work together.
Exactly. You
and
gotta anticipate.
not work against each other.
Exactly. You gotta anticipate what's coming up, because you never know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, on set. So this person wasn't really audio ready. They didn't have a lapel mic on them. They didn't, everything was boom. So my friend, being fresh on set, he's so excited or whatever. This is his
eager
first
beaver,
time.
yeah.
This is his first time on set. Before he went on set, it's cool because he did call me before he went on set, and he was asking for advice. The biggest advice that I could give him is shut your mouth, listen to the director, and get out of people's way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stay out of the way.
Because everybody has a specific role that they do, and they are hired to do that particular role. Do not get in their way. Same with you. If you're responsible for doing behind the scenes stuff, you got to get the shots and all that other stuff, which is understandable, but you have to learn to respect other people's positions and their
boundaries.
space.
Right.
So what happened? He's in the area. They're trying to do an interview. They didn't have her lapelled or anything like that. So everybody was squeezed in. It was a tight area. So he's trying to get the shot, and the audio guy is with his boom, booming the celebrity. And what does my friend do? He bumps the audio guy accidentally, because swaying back and forth, and then he accidentally bumps the audio.
Did you get mad?
And the audio guy got pissed off. You can't control situations like that, obviously. But, my friend did the right thing, and he apologized to him later. Now, the guy was upset and told him to get the hell out of his way or whatever, because he's doing his work, which is understandable. But, the guy could have been a little bit nicer, you know what I'm saying? But there's certain personalities that you deal with on set. And I'm sorry to say, sometimes on set, you have a clique, right? And if you're the new person, you're not part of that clique.
Right.
They're going to look at you like everything is your fault.
Right. Right.
That's
They're
why
gonna
I've
assume
always
that
said.
you don't know what you're doing.
Exactly.
And you're just in the way.
Exactly. That's why I've always said, get out of the way, keep your mouth shut, and just be the harder working person. You know what I'm saying? If somebody's in there and needs a chair, you swap in, a chair. You know what I'm saying? You got to be listening, good listening skills, and your personality. You know what I'm saying? It goes back to, it goes full circle.
It's so true.
And it's part of networking, because what I've learned is like, hey person, you know what I'm saying? Like all the same people work in the same environment.
Right, and they talk.
Exactly.
They're
and
like,
they
you see this guy? This guy's,
Exactly.
you don't want to work with this kid.
You don't want to be that guy.
Right.
You don't want to be that person.
You want to be like, this guy, he's so nice and he's eager and he's so helpful and he brought me a chair.
Exactly.
Like little things like that.
Little things like that go a long way. Exactly. So diffusing the situation is the most important thing. And again, we go back to personality. Positivity wins.
Yes.
And we're gonna talk a little bit more about this after the break.
Sherry Elisa Photography specializes in beautifully styled modern portrait photography, offering professional in-studio photography services to all of Southwest Florida. Push creativity to the next level. Create custom themes that will complement every personality and style. On-site professional hair and makeup is also available. Our studio is conveniently located off US 41 and Boy Scout Drive, next door to the Sam's Club Plaza. Book your spot now with SherryElisaPhotography.com.
So we're talking about tension on set, and whether it's on set or whether it's at your workplace. And by the way, any comments, any tips and tricks, just comment below and like, share, and subscribe. Now, you had a little story to tell about your experience with certain people,
just like you
outside of your current job.
Oh, yeah. This has nothing to do with my current job.
Yes, yes.
It was just, again, about like respecting boundaries and people that you work with, because I was shooting a wedding alongside another company. There was some videographers there. And normally I'm very respectful. Like we're all trying to work together because they have to get their shots. I have to get my shots. And you're at a wedding. You have to get those shots. I've worked with videographers before, and you like kind of take turns. Like we're moving the same way. So it's like, all right, I get the shot, you get the shot. But this entire wedding, I'm not kidding you, this crew was literally fighting me every step of the way. Every time I would try to get a shot, they jump in, like pushing me, elbowing me, my shot, and like trying not to argue. It's like, we can't get into an argument. We're at a wedding. Like this is definitely not the place.
Yeah.
But they just would not compromise.
So how did you deal with that?
I just sucked it up. I mean, I don't have time to sit and argue with you because it's going to be my ass if I don't get these photos. So it's like you just kind of improvise, and I came in from a different angle, like, all right, you're going to set up here, I'm going to go over here, but then what would happen is I'm set up over here, and then I look, and here they come. It was like the whole wedding, we're just following each other around and like stepping on each other's toes.
This is a good tip for a lot of videographers and photographers out there on a wedding background. Yes, you are fighting for the same shot. One thing I did learn is talk with the videographer or the photographer before the wedding.
Right.
So that way
then
know
you're not
exactly
arguing about it during the wedding.
Exactly. So that way hey, I'm doing a video, I'm going to get this shot, and after I'm done with the shot, just fly in there. It's a little bit difficult, and the right equipment will get you a long way, because obviously that's where long lenses fall into play. But yes, it's a balancing act.
Right. It's like a dance.
Exactly. It is. And if you step on somebody's toes, they're gonna be pissed off.
I was getting so angry, like, because it was towards the end of the wedding. I'm like, I just had it. It was a whole day, and I'm like, oh, I'm almost there. You just push through, just deal with it. Don't say anything. Just get out of the way, And I went in from a different angle, got what I needed, and that was it.
Exactly.
But my other experiences were good, Like you said, you talk and like, oh, we're gonna do this, and then all right, well, you do this, I'll do that, or
exactly.
take turns.
Exactly.
But this was the one time that it was like it was a nightmare, and I was like.
So you just stood quiet, keep your cool, and got your shots, which is a good thing. Keeping it positive.
Yes.
Keeping it positive.
Yes.
Back to what I'm talking about the wedding stuff. It's super important. Again, personality wins over skills. So you talk to the person, and then hey, I'm gonna get this shot. Where are you gonna be at? How could I get out of your way?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Not don't get in my way.
My way, right? Because it's almost like you're doing them a favor. Like,
Exactly.
I'm respecting your your work and your boundaries, and
respect goes both ways.
Right.
Now, if the person is a complete jerk, that's where you got to put your foot down a little bit and get the shot that you need.
You got to be a little stern.
Exactly.
But you can't let it get to the point to where you're gonna be like fist fighting in the middle of the dance floor.
Exactly.
Round 1. Fight!
Maybe he pops off and he becomes the guy that is yelling, and all of a sudden you got all the people looking in the back looking at this one dude.
Yeah.
And you're there like smiling and you're just pointing to that guy, you know?
Like, look at this guy.
Exactly.
He's
Exactly.
ruining our whole wedding.
And guess what? He or she will not get hired again.
Yeah.
You know? Cooling off. You know what I'm saying? Being the cool person will get you a long way.
Like, I'm not kidding. Sometimes I actually go outside and I have to count.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Like, I'll sit there and I'm like, I'll count to like, I think I've only made it up to like 20. Because the person that I'm mad at comes outside
Exactly.
and interrupts my counting.
Exactly. Exactly. And we're back to 1.
Exactly. It's almost like, but he gets so angry. No, it's not Roadrunner. I forget who it is. I just saw it not too long ago, too.
Yosemite?
Wait, yeah, and he runs up to the top of the mountain. He's like, that's me.
And then yes, I remember that episode actually. Like it was Yosemite Sam and Bugs Bunny, and he was trying to control his anger. And then like, look, Rabbit, I'm cured. And Bugs would do all these horrible things, like,
and he like kept running up the mountain. He
exactly. But that's true.
Yeah.
You got to isolate yourself from the situation, and if you know what I'm saying, like, or else you'll pop.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and then you're gonna be the person that they're gonna look back at you and be like, "What's wrong with her?"
Right.
You know what I'm saying, or "What's wrong with him?"
And I'm like that. Like, I have to stop and take that time because I will pop.
Exactly.
And then you get people that like to keep poking the bear, and they just keep on and keep on. You're trying to compose yourself.
Exactly.
Stay quiet, be professional, stay positive. You got to let me count to like 40.
Exactly. No, that's true. That's true.
Because you have to respect, like, all right, I know we're both pissed off. Obviously, we both argued over something or something happened.
Right.
You have to give that person space.
Give that person time. Give that person time. And that's a healthy advice in general, in a relationship, in, you know what I'm saying, in a friendship, in a workplace.
Right.
If it constantly happens in your workplace, it is okay to walk away from that job.
Right.
Sorry to say.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's so
like,
unhealthy. And it
yes.
takes tolls on you in other ways. It affects, your mental health, the way
Exactly.
you sleep. You may get depressed. You're not taking care of yourself the way that you should because you're in such an unhealthy environment.
Exactly. You're not giving yourself 100% or whatever because you feel that what's it worth it if I'm going to get beaten?
Right.
You know?
Exactly. Like being in an abusive relationship.
There is emotional abuse as well.
And you start to believe it, like, because even though you know that you're in such a unhealthy environment, you become used to it.
Exactly.
There's
a saying in Dr. Phil actually where he did say it takes 1,000 positives to make up one negative.
One negative. Yeah, I've heard him say something like that.
It takes 1,000 attaboys, 1,000 attagirls to erase one really big time put down. Words are powerful.
It's tough to be a positive person in a negative environment.
Especially when you know that environment is never going to change.
Exactly.
Because
you could try your darnest to make that place run as efficient and as smooth, and you're trying. Here's the funny part. People like you and I, we want our bosses to succeed. We want that environment to succeed,
right?
Because we're hoping
we're doing the work.
Yeah, exactly. We hoping that we trickle that down to us or whatever.
It's gonna sprinkle down
and we get a
us,
raise and all that other stuff or whatnot.
Like,
and
hey,
then like,
Dave, you're doing such a great job.
I would
really
be better
appreciate you.
I would be better off that way than you know what I'm saying than
get like a trophy or something.
Here, you know what I'm saying? Like, here's $1 more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In your work, And sometimes that, that's probably the signs that you need to move on and probably do something on your own.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And run your own business or merge with somebody else that is going to appreciate
It comes
you.
back to networking.
Exactly.
And sometimes you need to do that because you do get stuck, whether it's out of like comfort but sometimes it's good to get out of that comfort zone and do something that makes you uncomfortable.
And it is scary.
Like kind
no
of like
doubt.
what we're doing now. Like this is different. This is something that
Exactly.
we haven't done before, at least
Exactly.
together, but like
Exactly.
we're trying something new.
It is extremely difficult to get out of a situation that you're so comfortable with because you're used to it, you know it, you know what I'm saying, on a day-to-day basis. But that's gonna kill you.
Right.
It's almost like the story about the frog in the pot. The frog will jump out if the pot is hot, but when it's slowly cranking up, he won't
He
know.
doesn't notice it.
And then all of a
It
sudden,
slowly creeps up on you.
he slowly dies, and that's what happens
Yeah.
with us, you know what I'm saying, in that environment. We're all so happy, and you know what I'm saying, like, and
We're in the pot, like, it's not so bad.
exactly, it's not
It's
so
kinda
bad,
comfortable in here.
but you have to hop out of that pot before
Yeah,
it gets
'cause then it
hotter,
burns
you know,
your ass, yeah.
exactly. Leave you with this. I have three recommendations for you. The hyperlinks are on the show notes. I got one that the cost of workplace stress and how to reduce it. I have another one that has 5 tips on anxiety coping strategies. And another one that is stress and your health, coping with stress.
I laugh because, that's something that I deal with on a daily basis.
But this is why we have these conversations,
Yeah.
because we want to help people like you out.
Right.
And if you're in the industry and if you're working under the man or under the woman, we're trying to help you out.
Right,
you know?
and like healthy coping skills, I mean, years ago I had very unhealthy coping skills, and it was the creative work that helped me deal with those like anxiety and depression and stuff to cope in healthier ways. Like I used to sit and draw, like it's because it's so therapeutic.
Exactly.
So like throughout my whole life, my art has always got me through hard times. And that's why I went back to school. So like photography, like
That's cool.
so you can use those, coping skills, like what you do, you're already creative, use that to your advantage.
Exactly.
If somebody's stressing you out at work or,
But the biggest thing is that don't stay in the abusive
you gotta get out of there.
situation.
you got to pack your bags and go.
Exactly.
Don't look back.
Exactly. But you express your stresses, what you've gone through, through art, you know? So, what is the point of this episode?
I don't know.
Take the time out and cool down.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Take the time out and cool down. And also
count to 20.
Exactly.
Or
Count
maybe,
to 20.
Maybe 40.
But if none of that works, it's time to move on.
Yeah,
Definitely. It's time to look for greener pastures, which there is none out there, but little by little, step by step, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna become a healthier person.
Yeah. And the healthier you are, I believe more opportunities come your way.
Amen.
Because you're more open to it. So.
Amen. So with that, like, share, and subscribe. Remember that the show notes are attached on this show, and that was BTS Raw Chats.